So first, I'm going to try to keep this video as concise and brief as possible. And second of all, I want to make it clear that with regards to certain legal proceedings, there are certain statements that I'm going to make in this video that should only be considered claims and allegations. Also, aside from that, I'm not going to be including any screenshots because if I did, this video would be like 10 hours long at the least, or at least. But anyways, I'm gonna get to the point. So there is someone named Kayla Varner. That's with a V, like Victor. I have never met her, nor do I want to. The extent of what I know about her is that she has a child and a boyfriend, husband, whatever, and I think she's in her 20s. So you'd think adult, mother, spouse, you would hope for maturity. But, and also not a lot of free time. But anyways, so this person, like I've already stated, never met, never want to meet. The only way that I even knew that she existed was because there was a person in my past and I had seen Kayla on this person's timeline. She had posted on his timeline. I think they were going back and forth like flirting or whatever. And this person would be Joseph Moore. And I literally had messaged her out of concern because based upon the things that he had done to me, I was concerned for her safety and her emotional, mental, psychological health and wellness. And like I already stated, her safety. Like I was concerned for her. So, because I didn't know if he would do to her what he had done to me. So I messaged her literally out of concern. Now, in my mind, I'm already thinking, okay, let's see. She's a child. She's a teenager. She's his girlfriend. She doesn't know me from Adam. And in my previous experience, females will just assume, like whenever you message them about a dude, they'll just assume that you're jealous. That you're like a jilted lover or something. But anyway, so I'd messaged her out of concern because he had known anger issues, which he had admitted to me. He had threw a phone, regardless of whether it hit me or not, he threw a phone, or regardless of whether he had aimed for me or not, or his intention or whatever, he threw a phone, it almost hit me in the face. He was going to take a picture of my clothed, but he was going to take a picture of my butt without my consent. And the only reason that I knew about what he was doing is because I heard his phone. So when I looked back, I asked him what he was doing, and then he told me, and he had proceeded to tell me that if I hadn't turned around when I did, that he was going to do it. Like he was going to do it anyways. So between the self-proclaimed or self-professed anger issues, the phone incident, the trying to take a picture of my body without my consent, the stealing a hoodie, and when my friend attempted to get it back on my behalf, he literally physically threatened them. There's the fact that he used to make school shooter memes because he thought it was hilarious, and like him and his friend would joke about shooting up the school that they went to. But anyways, the way I've mentioned this in other videos, but a brief overview of Joseph is he, someone from my past who was a predatory person that tried to force me to make a sex tape with him, but I refused, and who forced me into phone sex. This guy, Nicholas Blaisdell, he had apparently went to school, or had previously went to school with Joseph, so he added him into the group chat. Joseph was 15. He tried to flirt with me. I blocked Nick. I left the group chat. Then Joseph found me, was messaging me, apologizing, yada, yada, yada. That was when he was 15. When he was 16, we ended up becoming friends. Made the mistake of hanging out with him. He told all of his friends that we were in a relationship. He told all of his friends that I slept with him. He forced me to... So he set up a Facebook relationship request. He forced me to approve it. And again, I was already terrified of him, like I already stated, between the school shooter memes, the admitting that he had anger issues, like almost bragging about it, the fact that he was over 6 foot tall and probably 200 pounds, give or take. I was terrified of this dude, so I accepted it, and because I didn't know what he would do if I didn't. Like, and eventually, like, it got so bad that it got to the point where I literally told him that I was going to check myself in. And the reason why I came up with that idea is because I was thinking, okay, in his mind, we're together. What is his reaction going to be if I tell him that I'm going to check myself into a hospital? So I asked him, if I check myself in, will you break up with me? Because in his mind, we were together. So he had told me that if I went to get away, just to get away from my mom, because my mom, there are issues with my mom, that yes, he would. So I said that yes, that's the reason why I wanted to check myself in. So then I was finally free of him. But I had messaged Kayla, but I knew how it was going to go. I knew that she would immediately either show and or send the messages to Joseph. So because of that, and because I was fearful for my safety, because he knew where I lived and was a violent, aggressive, anger-prone person, I had put in there that I had previously been in a relationship with him and he had dumped me, because in his mind, that's the way that all of it went down, regardless of what anyone ever tried to tell him. So she took it literally, because my message made it seem literal. And so years later, when I started speaking up about people in the local music scene, she had previously been active in the local music scene. She was friends with people in bands in the local music scene. She's probably slept with however many of them, but that's neither here nor there. But I know she got with one when he was in a relationship, one dude, but he's a part of the problem too, but we'll talk about him later. But anyways, so I messaged her that, and years later, after I started speaking up about people finally, started speaking up about people again finally, that's when she started commenting on posts and making a post about how I was a pedophile and that I dated a 16-year-old and that I slept with him, and she had all of these screenshots, and she was talking about how I had played the victim, and that in her I think she put that they had been in a relationship for 8 months or something. In their 8-month relationship, and in their 3 months of in her 3 years of knowing him, and the 8 months that they were in a relationship, that he never did anything wrong to her, or including anything that I claimed that he had done to me. I don't know if she's rooted in reality, but I am, and just because it was rainbows and butterflies for you doesn't mean it was for me. And I don't appreciate being invalidated. I don't appreciate being slandered. I don't appreciate being defamed. And honestly, had I been able to locate her address, I would have took her ass to court too. But this video is over 8 minutes long, and you get the point, just raising awareness.